So I want to give back. I don't want people to ever settle. Ever. Mediocrity is not acceptable. We have a very short time on this planet. Let's make the most of it. I want everyone to be happy, find joy. Not that every day is amazing, but let's figure out how to make it amazing.
Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast, keeping you inspired with high vibe content, bringing you the best manifestation and mindset tools, teachings, interviews, and answering questions to help empower you to get out of your own way and take massive action to make magic your everyday normal. I'm your host, Ashley Gordon, spiritual life and manifestation coach, helping women and spiritual entrepreneurs manifest more impact, influence, and income. It is my purpose and pleasure to help you wake up to the badass creator that you are. Let's do this. What's up, badass manifestors? Today is an amazing episode because I have an amazing guest that I can't wait to jam out with. Her name is Lisa Hyde, and she is a confidence coach, success coach, and she's helping women make it rain with confidence from the inside out, which is so, so important because that's really where it comes from. And she's also the author of Be #Stronger Her, and she's going to talk all about what she does, how she does it. She's going to share about her book, and she's just a bright soul that I'm happy to have on the show today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashley. Great to be here.
Awesome. So I know I just introed you, but why don't you just fill people in on who you are and how you became who you are?
Sure. I'll try to keep it short and sweet.
I know we all love these questions. Like, where do we even start?
But I think it makes sense because people assume you have just one career. And in fact, I've had multiple. And that's one of the ways I've been able to help so many different people is I've done so many things. So I started off as a talent agent and manager. I live here in Los Angeles, and entertainment was my life. And it was 12 years into this incredible career that I had to stop and actually close the doors to my company to take care of my mom, who became ill, and I became her caregiver. Now, I don't question giving that up, and it was the right thing to do, but 5 years went by, and I wasn't quite sure what to do after that. And that's where the big change in my life went from thinking I knew everything, thinking my plan was going to be golden, to, hey, I'm not going to go back to that now. I'm working in retail to pay bills, but I don't love it. What the heck do I do now? And I was in my late 30s, and I was like, I should have, the time that people mostly get married or start having kids, I was a caregiver. So I was burned out. And I went back to school, got a degree in healthcare, because I was dating a doctor who said it would be an easier life. Really hard to take a right brain, left brain move like that, but I did it. But it was actually in the tail end of my training that I was introduced to a direct sales business that I first said no to, and then was actually convinced that as a hobby, this would be a good saving grace for me because I was miserable because I was a caregiver again, now for my grandmother. So I was looking at this new career after spending $42,000 going back to school, thinking like, holy crap, I don't like it. I'm literally doing it for a paycheck. I'm going to need a hobby. And then everything changed. It's been 8 years. I didn't take the job at the hospital. I graduated with honors, but I did not take the job.
Wow.
I invested in myself, and it's been a huge, huge 8 years of personal development. Working on me and then helping others do the same and helping people grow businesses. Last year, I launched a podcast. I just wrote my first book. I just started my own online coaching program. Like, it has been a year of change. Yeah. And celebrated my 50th. So yeah, it's been this big, like, how many things could I do in 1 year? And I did it.
You guys, Lisa looks like she's in her 30s. So and obviously, I mean, you didn't mention this, but your direct sales company is Rodan Fields, right?
Yes. I'm sorry. I never do because I'm never sure if I'm going to be conflicting with somebody else's business, and I never want to but if you got skincare questions, DM me. I'm happy to answer them. I love it.
I have so many questions for you because I have a background in acting and modeling back in the day. And so I'm very familiar with that world. And did you create this whole confidence brand around confidence because of your background in that and knowing that like that's really what it takes to, I mean, it's one of the elements, right? To accept.
Absolutely.
And also like feeling confident in your own skin with like your skincare. Like how did you come up with this beautiful brand?
Thank you. So it's definitely a mix. And I think because I was in one of the toughest industries. So you understand this from one side of it, being talent. I'm on the other side in the agency world, which is cutthroat, definitely not female supported. I worked, in the old boys club. I worked at William Morris, which is like the original old boys club. Yeah. And
I wish I knew you back in the day, girl.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew you.
I was trying to make it, okay?
Damn it. I was here. I was busting my ass. And I loved it. I actually loved it. My father and grandfather were also agents. I grew up in the industry, and it was part of my life. I didn't realize that not everyone did it. It was just,
wow.
I mean, I was scribbling the logo at age 5. I knew I was going to work at William Morris. I knew I was going to do it. It was funny. Once I got there, went through the training program, which nobody understands, it is hell on wheels. It is the hardest thing you can do. You are literally not better than any trash on the ground, and there is no one helping you. You've got to just figure it out. Yeah. And I think that's part of it, that if I wanted this bad enough, I was going to have to figure out how to do it, who to make allies with, and how to get ahead. There's no book. There's no manual. There's no one saying, okay, so if you come here and do that, it's like read 1,000 scripts, write, I can't even spell that. You have to write updates all week long on them. They're synopsis. You're doing reviews on scripts all week long. The more, the better that you can read. You're working 24/7. You're running stupid ass errands, like grabbing coffee for people, but you're also looking for talent. And if you can make a break by bringing in someone that is worthy of the company, you get promoted faster. It's crazy.
So political. It's so political.
So political. And again, being female, someone who didn't do drugs or drink, so I wasn't the party person that they could count on. Yeah. And I also, because my father and grandfather had worked for the company, different decades, I had a reputation to one, correct from my father, and two, to uphold for myself. So I had to be like the squeaky clean wheel, which also kind of, pushed people away. Like they didn't want to like get too close, because I had to stay like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father did. I'm not going to embarrass anyone. I'm going to work my ass off and prove that I can do this. So there were no handouts. It was not easy at all. Probably would have been easier if I'd gone to a different agency, actually. But I think it's what laid the foundation. Like,
totally.
Nothing can burn me after that. I've had phones thrown at me.
It was like boot camp, preparing you for the rest of your life.
Oh my God, phones thrown at me, having to what we call roll calls while your male agent boss is in the bathroom. I mean, the training program is insane. So yeah, and all those Me Too stories, I have plenty of them. And it was a choice that you made to stay in the industry or get blackballed and lose your career.
So is Entourage like an accurate representation?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And Ari Gold is a real person. Ari Emanuel. Yeah, it's the real deal. Yeah.
I know how cutthroat it is, just because my cousin was working in the industry for a while, and he was trying to be an agent. And anyway, he got all his ideas got taken. Like people stole his stuff. It was just, he switched careers completely. So wow. And he was a man. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, it wasn't easy for anyone, but it was funny. Actually, being at the agency, I realized I didn't like being an agent. I loved being a manager, which allowed me to produce projects for my clients and have a much more creative path and actually get a chance to develop talent, which is something I've done since childhood. And I think what really produces excitement for me is actually helping people follow through on their dreams. And that's where I really had a blast, was as a manager.
Yeah, which is essentially what you're doing now in a completely different way.
Exactly. Just has a different label.
So like, you guys, no matter what you're doing, it's always training you for where you're going.
Correct. Who knew? But yes.
I know. But yeah.
I laugh because, Tony Robbins was a client at the time when I worked at William Morris. I was terrified of him. I was terrified. I was like, who is this giant man who's so damn happy this isn't real? And now I work with him. I'm like, hi. I was 20 and I couldn't handle you. And now I spend a lot of time around you. It's really, it's so bizarre.
Do you work with him?
Yeah. I just finished a program with him and Dean Graziosi. So.
Oh my God. Oh, Dean.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's just cool. Like, it's like full circle. Like I would have never, ever in my 20s, I was like, ooh. Yeah. And now I'm like, can't get enough. Like, it's like, put it in.
I know. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah.
So
you're right. Everything leads you to where you're going. It really does.
It does.
Yeah. So cool. So today, after you went through all of that with your mom, like what was the learning for you? Like after you did that career and then you took care of your mom and then you went back to school and then you took care of your grandmother. And then like, what was the point where you were like, okay, this is about me now. Like, I'm going to listen to myself.
Well, that was it. So that was that turning point. I had 4 months left of my program before I graduated, and I was going to have a beautiful job waiting for me at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I had panic attacks. I didn't want it, but I didn't want to say it out loud to anyone because it almost looked insane. You just went back to school. You spent $42,000 doing this program. You have a job waiting for you. What do you mean you're not going to do it? Yeah. But I was so depressed, sad, lonely. Like, I mean, I just lost the two most important people in my life. And the idea of working in a hospital, watching loss on a daily basis, I was like, oh no, this is not going to be for me. And I took a huge, huge leap of faith because at the time, because of the stress of taking care of my mom, I got adult cystic acne. The treatment that my wonderful dermatologist in Beverly Hills gave me left me with melasma, which is also just as frustrating and ugly and hard to contain. And these products changed my life in 3 weeks, where I was getting cornered at the hospital by nurses who were like, what's going on with you? We have to talk to you. And of course I'm thinking, holy crap, did I hurt a patient? Like, I'm like, my brain is so elsewhere. I'm not even, like, no, you're glowing. I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I'm like living a 24. I started washing my face with this stuff a few weeks ago. Noticed? And they were like, yes. So, cause I had really bad melasma at that point and like nothing covers it up. And I knew nothing. I brought the boxes into the cafeteria at the hospital. What my upline told me to do. She's like, just read the front of them. Cause I knew not 3 weeks in, I knew nothing.
Right.
And so I read the fronts of the boxes. I'm like, okay, this one does this one does that. And oh yeah, this is the one that took away the sun damage. And they all ordered something. And I left that cafeteria going, oh, that's all I had to do. I just had to share what I love.
Yeah.
And I was like, ding, 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 ding.
Share what's working for you.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And so I got back in the car. I called the same person. I said, okay, that was awesome. Now what? And so 4 months later, when I graduated, I just decided to deep dive into me, figure out how to make this business work. I had to learn how to network in a different way. I was used to, going to clubs to find talent, not going to bars to find business partners. It was just like a same thing, but I had to change my mindset. And so I had to learn how to network, and I had to learn how to talk to strangers about things that I was still learning myself. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how direct sales worked.
Yeah.
But I just was like, I'm coachable. Just tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. And it worked. And I found people who wanted to join me in business, and I found tons of customers. And it just, it snowballed into something. I was like, damn, this is really cool. And, they were throwing in that personal development from the beginning, and I still didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I still didn't understand it. I'm like, why did I want to know that stuff about me? Why does that matter?
Yeah.
But it does.
It really does. It really does. Wow. So that kind of opened up that whole world for you.
Yeah. And learning how to break down limiting beliefs, learning how to overcome obstacles, and, making sure that you were like fearless. I mean, I had been fearless in my other career. Why was I second guessing this?
Yeah.
And so
I find that too, like women will be really fearless with one area of their life, but then with another area, like they cannot get over the fear.
No, I could have an attorney who's a business partner who
Yeah.
I know she litigates like a motherfucker, but for some reason this is her own business and she can't talk to anybody about it. I'm like, I'm sorry, you are like a litigator. What do you mean you can't share how these products have worked to improve your skin? Like,
Right.
what? Help me out here.
Right.
So if you had a storefront, you'd be more than happy to do it, but it's a virtual place, so you're not quite sure where to go. I think it's interesting. People like draw lines because if they worked in a retail setting, they'd be spewing their mouth out. Come to my shop. It's so cool. I love all my products.
Right.
Okay. It's just a virtual storefront, guys. You can
It's a
still do that.
Total mindset shift.
Yes. Yes.
Total mindset shift. Wow. 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 So true.
Oh.
So are you like pretty high up in the company?
Yes and no.
Okay. I was just wondering.
No, you know how life goes up and down. I took off a lot of last year to grow everything else.
Okay. Cool.
Be totally transparent.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, what I find with direct sales is it goes up and down, and you have years where everything is, you've got people who are who want to work as hard as you do, and you have years when you've got people who just don't want to make the time for it. You can't control other people's outcome. Totally. You can't control them wanting it as much as you do. So all I can do is continue to recruit and find new people to replace the ones who don't want to do it, and then make myself available for the ones who do. And last year, I, again, created a podcast, wrote a book, created a coaching program that was online. I did all these things that were really important to me that I needed to accomplish. And it was kind of the right time because I lost a huge leg of one of my teams. And I thought, okay, there's a big rebuild happening anyway. So why not rebuild both?
I love
so that's what we're doing. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And there's a lot of women that listen to this show that are in direct sales, network marketing. And a lot of women want to have their own business.
Yeah.
Alongside of like working for a network marketing company as a business, right? So it's like,
I think it's ideal.
Yeah, I think it's ideal too.
Yeah, I mean, if it hadn't been the hospital job, if I was still working in retail when I started this, I would have kept both. So I never the leap of faith I took was because I literally would not have been able to get out of bed to go to the hospital for work. Like that's how much I couldn't do the job I was about to start. For everyone else, stay in your day job because you want to network within the people who know you best anyway.
Yeah. And
as your paycheck starts to match and increase, what you're already earning, then you can make the decision to make the leap. But no, keep it. You have a network at your disposal daily. Like, make use of it.
Absolutely. And I always tell people, like, stop hating on your 9-to-5 job. Just recreate your relationship with it, because your relationship with that job is number one, supporting you. And I love what you just shared. It's so true. It's like you have people that are built in that already know you.
Know, like, and trust, because it's not going to change.
Right.
It's all going to change. Your skin's going to look better. They're going to be asking more questions, and you get to share more about what you love.
Yeah.
And they already know you. It's the best. So yeah, my leap of faith, my journey was different. I don't recommend it because the pace is slower, right? You don't have the built-in audience. Had I stayed at the hospital or in retail, I would have had the built-in audience. I had to go find it.
Yeah, you created it. So what would you say, like, speaking of confidence and your book, what would you say is like your top tips and tools to help women kind of activate this confidence up? Because so many women just don't feel good enough. They feel less than. They feel like they don't matter sometimes. I hear it, in all these different ways. So like, what are your tips? Like, how did you get to where you are in your own confidence?
First of all, it breaks my heart when I hear that because, I have people all around me like that. And I'm not saying that I am 100% confident every single day of the week of the year. I go through spurts too, where I question like everything. You question my instincts. I question my choices. But that's human life. What you have to be able to overcome is the up and down, that you gotta just roll with it. But addressing your own specific limiting beliefs being honest about what is holding you back, what your fears are, and then working with a coach or your upline to overcome those things.
Yeah.
That's where the change is going to happen. So again, at the beginning, they kept offering me coaches, and like I would earn coaching. I'd earn trainings with special coaches in the first few years of the business because I was growing fast, and you qualify for certain things. And but I was like, I did not get. I'm like, well, if I'm doing this right, why do I need a coach? Like I almost took it as an affront, like it was a negative, instead of understanding that no, this person's going to help you bring out the best tools that you already have and help you overcome the ones that you're stumbling with. And again, it took me a while. Here I am actually doing what I didn't do in the beginning. But I have coaches now. I pay people. I work, I do masterminds. I do it all because the more I learn, the better I can help other people. Totally. So it's a never ending cycle, but you're asking, in the book, I do break down a bunch of different things, like having a morning routine, making sure that you really set like what the 3 things are you want to accomplish that day. But I can go through a whole schedule with you. None of it's going to matter if you don't start from that very beginning foundational root problem. What the heck is holding you back? Yeah. Why are you afraid to open your mouth? What are you afraid of?
Yeah, totally. What was the biggest thing that held you back?
So, it's funny. I think the initial was, I had just like left every career in entertainment. If you're not in it, people don't talk to you. Like it's weird. So I lost that like 12-year, relationship. Those people won't talk to me. The retail ones, I was the boss. I was the manager. So it was different kind of relationship with my employees. Some of them were interested in learning what I was doing, but most of them were kind of like, no, not unless you're actually paying me. Do I really want to know? Yeah. And then in the hospital setting, or when I was training, the students I was in school with were learning their first trade. Most of them were just like, fresh out of high school. Wow. And this was like this was their college. And they might not have been in a financial position either. Although a lot of them were very interested. Most of them became clients. What I didn't have that I saw most people having around me, consultants who were starting, I didn't have immediate family. I didn't have a mom or a sister or a grandmother or a best friend who wanted to do this business with me from day one. I had to go find them. And I think that my story is very particular. I don't think that's the norm. I think most of the time you find you have someone very close to you who wants to do this with you because they see the excitement in you. Yeah. And it's having that accountability partner, it's having that partnership at the very beginning to like push each other on. Yeah. That does make that path a little easier. And I think it helps you move a little faster. So for me, it was like understanding that I was going to have to figure this all out by myself and find the people along the way.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And I think that a lot of women who are in building a business, I mean, even from my own experience of like figuring it out and finding my own way, it can be lonely. So like maybe the belief like it sounds like the belief that was holding you back was like that you were doing it by yourself.
Yeah. And it was like, why am I doing it by myself? And, it's like, unfortunately, some of it was out of my control. And I definitely, would have preferred, like, my mom would have loved it. Like she would have had a blast with this. Like we would have had so much fun. Yeah. Even my grandmother, when she was sick, I just started when she was sick and she was like, I'll buy something. I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, it's like, it's the people who believe in you, no matter what. You could ask them to buy dirt from you and they're going to buy dirt from you, because they love you. And I think it was more maybe a pity party of like, I don't have those people anymore. So,
wow.
I'm going to have to find them, but I did. And I've made incredible friendships.
Amazing.
Some of those very early networking events, created clients that I still have today that become good friends, that became business partners. So none of it was a bad thing. It just, I had to find my path.
Totally. And what would you say is like, if someone feels like they have to find their path, or maybe they don't know what they what they want or what to do, like what would be your coaching to someone or advice to someone listening that's kind of like, how do I find my path?
Again, what I didn't do, trust. Well, I trusted my upline because she was rocking her business and she was very, very open and very like humble, and she would always give me her time, and she's still incredible. But when you are being offered opportunities like free coaching, being part of team trainings or group trainings, whatever your company is offering you, going to conventions, taking the virtual training, like do it all, because you'll find your groove. But the people who are closest to you there, they want you to succeed. So we're there to help.
Your success is literally their success.
Totally. So you got to trust us that, again, even if it's a day longer, I've been doing it a day longer than you, let me just show you what I know, and let me show you the things that didn't work, so you don't waste your time going down that path either. Like, I want to make it easier for them. I want to make sure they don't go through the same stumbling blocks. I mean, 8 years ago, this was not a household brand name. I mean, now we are. It's amazing what's happened. But I was treading across all of Southern California going like, hi, I want to tell you about a brand that you've never heard of. And so now, I mean, I feel like I laid the groundwork for a lot of consultants in Southern California, because it's so much easier for them now. People know who the brand is and they're already interested in the products even before they start. We're talking about ground level.
Wow. What would you say, to someone that is building a business that's a network marketing business? Yeah, get a coach.
Get a coach, damn it. Just do it. Do it. The investment in yourself is so worth it in the end. It really, really is.
Yeah. Sorry. What was the first thing I'm just curious. Now we'll just bounce around. What was the first thing that you invested in? Like a one-on-one coach?
I think it was first like group ones. Hold on. I'm going to try to go backwards here. Again, I got invited to a lot of them within my company. There was somebody who used to be the corporate trainer for the company who actually left to become a private coach. Mm-hmm. And then she was still training those consultants, but from the outside and being paid in a different way. So I got invited to all those trainings. And so that's where I kind of learned a certain amount of it. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. If you just keep doing these things consistently, you'll see results. And then I want to say 2 years ago, I decided to bite the bullet because I knew I wanted to do some other things.
Yeah.
And so I signed up with a one-on-one with a coach, and then there was another one, and then there was another one.
And each one builds on each other, right? They all build.
Totally. And, I have invested quite a lot, but I look at it as kind of like grad school again. Like you're investing in yourself. You get credentials. You feel like you can really give back to people because you're learning from the best. I mean, I'm really excited about the people that I'm, working with right now. The influencers on Instagram that we're all following, they're training with the same people. So I'm like, I know I'm in the right company. Like, I know I'm doing the right thing. And it's just, again, finding my niche, finding my niche, which again is different. I'm not a mom. I don't have kids. I'm not married. Those first 3 titles, which get you a lot of your team or like-minded people. I am really looking at the woman who's always been a professional, who, maybe has struggled like me to always be successful, but never actually hit the goals that you personally have wanted for yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's who I am. People on the outside are like, but you work from home. This is what you do full time. You've got your coaching program, you travel. I have a great life, but I still have super high goals for myself, and I want to accomplish them. And that requires me being challenged.
I love that. Yeah. So important. So important. So how do you set goals for yourself?
So there's just tactical ones, okay, I wanted to do the podcast for 2 years. I've been interviewed. I thought the the medium was awesome. And I sat on it for 2 years. And so that first coach was like, okay, let's do this. And we got the, the basics about how you start. You want to get 12 stories outlined, and you want to know which ones you're going to lead with and have 4 ready to be, pushed out immediately. And we did the whole thing. And then once I pressed go, it all made sense. And I really love the podcast. I love the medium. I think this is one of the most incredible ways for us to get our voices across.
Yeah.
And I love that I have people from all over the world who listen and ask questions and are finding support, and they're being moved, and they're wanting to do more, and they're wanting to give back, because it's all about serving others. So for that, I'm just like, woo, I love it. And those are my people. And it's just not the cookie cutter that most people who start a direct sales business come in with. So again, I had to find my own path. And the thing is, what's interesting is most of my team members are in a similar situation. There are some that are married and have kids, but most of them are single, professional, and have high goals for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
We literally attract who we are, or we attract the opposite.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But I'll say it's those people, and I'm sorry,
No.
I apologize, Ashley, but it was those people that created the podcast and the book and the coaching program, because I saw them struggle, and I don't want people to struggle. So I had to sit down and write, why am I able to keep going even when I'm hit with 1,000 negative things and I'm still up and going? So I want to give back. I don't want people to ever settle, ever. Mediocrity is not acceptable. We have a very short time on this planet. Let's make the most of it. I want everyone to be happy, find joy. Not that every day is amazing, but let's figure out how to make it amazing.
Totally.
That's really important to me.
Is that really what your book's about? Can you share a little bit more about what your book is about?
Sure. So Be #StrongHer is a guide to building confidence. I do outline things that have helped me overcome obstacles, limiting beliefs, but we also break it down. We go chapter by chapter. There's actually kind of a workbook element to it, so that as we're going through, you're evaluating yourself. There's assessments. You're evaluating where you are. You're being honest with yourself, so we can figure out how to improve and overcome those limiting beliefs. And we also want to just nail that fear, and so that you can just overcome it. And I leave you also with tips about, again, how to enjoy, right? How to have great self-care, how to take a spa day. Even if your funds are minimal, you can still create a really wonderful pampering for yourself. And it's so important that we feed our brains, our souls, and our bodies in a way that doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Meditation and journaling, they can be free. So there are ways to do this.
I completely agree. And I'm just wondering, if you could sum up in one sentence, one word, I don't really know, but what is the key to confidence?
Self-belief.
Yeah.
I don't care. Listen, we are in a world where everyone has an opinion about what we do, what we say, who we are. If you don't believe in yourself 110%, ain't nobody else gonna. So this is all about self-belief, and confidence can come in all shapes and sizes. It's funny. What I've learned over the years, it's not really the loudest person in the room.
No.
It's the person who's actually listening and encouraging the others to come forward and share their thoughts and beliefs. That's the confident person, because they're willing to give up the spotlight for someone else.
Oh, it's so true. It's so, so true. I feel like that's the highest form of abundance. I really do. And I think podcasting is very much so that, right? Because we're highlighting other women. I highlight on my podcast, I'm sure you do too, other women who are making great change in the world, and giving them the spotlight and giving them that way to share their message and their gift. And just listening, if you're listening and that kind of feels weird to you, just know that sharing like we can't make the change alone. Nothing that we can, all the great things we want to do in this world, like they're not meant to be done alone because it's not about you.
No. Mm-mm. No. And I think that was also something very alpha female, as someone discuss with me. Also very type A. I've always been the boss, right? I've always done it all myself. Learning to delegate this past year has been huge for me. It has both been very awesome and has backfired. So once again, I am still learning how to accomplish these things, but giving up some of that power to somebody else. And I remember this too from when I was managing stores. I would give them a section, like which department basically is your favorite, because I want that to be your baby. You're going to get to merchandise it. You're going to get to make sure it's always fully stocked. You're going to know every single item in that section. So when someone comes to that area, you are completely in charge. Like, it's yours.
Yes.
And it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it is very hard to delegate things that I've done myself that I can't always explain, like the aesthetic that I want from it or the end result. But then when I do find people who get my voice, who understand the way I like things to look and appear, then it's an awesome collaboration, because you're like, yes, we can do so much more now that I have another set of hands and eyes, and it's so much easier than when you just
I always say, like, I wish I had another me.
Oh, me too. I'll take two right now.
Right? It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, I agree. I like control. So
yes, we all do.
Hiring a team. Like, when I first started my business, I was like, I don't even see where I could actually like give that away to someone. Like, I don't,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where I could, now I'm just like, take it all.
Take it all. I know it's funny. It's actually a lesson I'm teaching people right now. And we're talking about things that we can delegate, automate, or eliminate, because that no list, we tend to have a very big to-do list, but we need to also work on that not to-do list, so that we can be more successful and really focus on our strengths. So once we know what we as individuals are very good at, okay, that's us. We're not giving that away.
Right.
But if we can delegate it or automate it, hot damn, because you're going to have that much more time to work on you and what you love. So
100%. And I feel that now more than ever, like so strongly. Yeah.
But I get it. And it was hard for me to hire people. And I was kind of like skeptical. What do you know? And then there's this whole new generation that, and I talk about this in my podcast a bunch. Again, you have to understand, I have been working since I was 13. And I've always liked being the boss. So when I have someone come in who's in their very early 20s, this is their first career, first job, and they think they have every answer, I am both enlightened and encouraged by their confidence. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm like, listen, you still got to pay some dues. Yeah. there's still some things you might love something, but you still don't know how the whole package works yet. So be willing to be open and constantly learning, even if you're doing the thing you love.
Be coachable. The end.
Be coachable, right? Period. Yes. Forever and ever. It's never going to end.
Ever. No, you're right. I'll never forget this one time I was at this party, and my husband works in real estate, so it was like a real estate convention party thing. And we went, and I went to the bar, and I was in line, and I didn't say a word. It was just the way that I walked up, I guess. And this guy turned around, and he was like, I can feel your confidence.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like,
and you got all chills. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what does that even mean?
Well, so it's fun. Okay, you say that. I have been told since I was a teenager that I intimidated men. I am not 5'1". And I always thought that was like a strange thing. Like, I'm like this little, what do you mean I intimidate a full-grown man? But it's because I've always believed in myself. I've always had confidence.
Yeah.
I've always had body confidence. I've never, my weight has fluctuated. If I'm stressed, my weight goes up. If I'm doing me, then I'm healthier and more fit because I'm keeping to my schedule. But when I get stuck taking care of other people, I lose me in that. And that was also part of that learning lesson of like how to take care of myself, coming out of those caregiver times. But I think that was it, because my mom and my grandmother were just always the same kind of people, like two completely different shapes and size women, but they both like loved themselves, and always encouraged me to just like, just be healthy and be you, and all is good. And
did you ever find that just like owning the fact that you accept and love your body and like all of that, did you ever feel like you didn't want to make other people feel uncomfortable, or did you like use that almost not to your advantage, but like, to your advantage in, being more in your power, especially like working in the,
oh God. When I worked in entertainment, definitely was, that was probably my most unhealthiest period of my life, because I went from being a very active person and involved in all kinds of sports to not probably having like an hour to sleep. Like that was a really crazy period of life. I lost like all my hair. Like it was crazy, very stressful world. But I will tell you the weird thing, and as a woman, I think this happens, if your weight fluctuates, you get different types of attention from men. Mm-hmm. And as someone, again, who's gone up and down and been all around, even though like I'm happy with myself and I'm good with where I am, when my weight is more aesthetically pleasing, the attention changes. And then I have to wonder like, well, I'm still the same person. Why are you treating me any different because I put on 5 or 10 pounds? So hang on a second. So I think that's both a good and bad thing that happens, where I question their motives. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait a second. I'm exactly the same woman with exactly the same thoughts. Nothing about that has changed, but all of a sudden, just because my outside is a little different right now, because at the same time, men have always told me I'm so confident and so comfortable in myself. Like it's one of the things they love about me, and I'm flattered by that. But it's that outside attention from people who don't know you, who it changes. And I think as a woman, that is a questionable struggle, because again, we have to be 100 with ourselves. We have to be bulletproof, because I know I am the same person.
No matter what.
But I just put up with less bullshit now.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that.
That's really it. Because I think before I wanted to be like, I came from divorce, and maybe there's something wrong with me. Like I would question it. I'm like, wait a second. No, I am good. I am healthy. I am happy. I am successful. Take it or leave it.
That's it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a like sorry not sorry attitude.
Yes.
And, like, that's something that has changed my confidence when I decided that for myself. Like when I think a couple years ago when I started my online business, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get judged. So one way or another. So sorry not sorry. I'm just going to be my full expression. And if you don't like it, then don't watch.
Totally. And friendships come and go because of it, but the people who really love you and know you, they will stick by you. Yeah. And then
you'll meet new online friends that are great.
Totally. And that's also like really inspiring. Like I love that there are other direct sales companies that think my message is awesome and really supportive, and they're encouraging their teams to listen to me and train with me. Like that sparks me. Like that is such joy, because I know that I'm helping other people.
Yeah.
If those closest to you don't like what you're doing, it's because they're uncomfortable with themselves. They don't believe, why should you be successful and not them? And it's a personal problem of theirs.
It really is. Sorry. Guys, that's such a golden nugget. Take that, put it in your pocket.
just know the angry people, the bullying, and the people who aren't supporting you in a 100 way, it's because of their own insecurities.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's people in my life that they see what I'm doing and up to and all of that, and I know that it bothers them because they don't even ask about it or like say anything. You know what I mean? And that's gonna happen. That could definitely be. It could be that extreme, or it could be people being like, oh, like, what do you, like, I don't know. whatever.
But it's not for everyone, and that's okay too. You might not like everything that they're talking about. This is just life. But your friends will be your friends.
Yes, 100%.
And if they can't, play along, then maybe they really weren't your friends. So
and maybe
I don't mean that in a bad way, but you'll find plenty of people who will be supportive and will be encouraging. And I have cross-line team members who are fantastic. I have a work wife who is amazing. And we do trainings together for our teams because we both want the same results.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find it. You can find the support.
You really, really can. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
You're welcome.
So
thank you.
I have to ask you, what makes you a badass manifester?
Girl. You know what? I go to bed every night and I wake up every morning saying the same thing. I am calm. I am happy. I am open and willing to accept and take in what's mine. A lot of it is money flows freely to me, is a lot of it. But I just believe. I believe there's more to life. I believe I'm destined for more. And I believe I'm here to serve. So I'm not stopping until I get my message out to everyone.
I love that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Ashley. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And I think that's like the most powerful thing is if you're listening, to take away that it's up to you to believe in you. And it's up to you to make your mark. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to take responsibility.
No one's going to do it for you.
Yeah. Take responsibility to be seen and heard, baby. That's it.
But there are plenty of people out there who want to support you, who want to see you do well, who want to just, revel in your success. So find them.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Awesome. So where can everyone connect with you and get your book?
Fantastic. So you can find me on Instagram at The Confidence Crown. It's also on Facebook. If you're a Facebooker, that's fine too. I'm there. And then, of course, be #StrongHer can be found on my website, theconfidencecrown.com, or go straight to Amazon. You can find both the Kindle and paperback version.
Cool. We'll link it up in the show notes to make it
Thank
super
you.
easy for you guys. You could just swipe up, grab a copy of Lisa's book, follow her on Instagram. I'm excited to be friends with you now.
I am too, Ashley. This is awesome. I can't wait to talk to you offline as well.
Yes. Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Badass Manifester podcast. I love manifesting Mondays with you, and there's so much more in store right here. The best way to manifest love is to give love. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the Badass Manifester podcast. Leave a review on iTunes. Let me know how much you dig the energy here. All of my social is linked up in the show notes, so screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram, and let me be part of your real-time journey. For more info on me, feel free to go to my website, manifestwithash.com. Repeat after me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. Go get them.